Hello, and welcome to the channel that brings you new inspirations of creative tips, motivation, and art pieces to inspire all creative enthusiasts. My name is Andrea, a digital art creator behind Pawjaw Creations, and I'm super excited to talk about the topic for today. Inspired by the latest commission I've completed for the Twin Dragons podcast cover profile, you're going to learn how to mirror an image or a particular design to match both sides without manually or physically drawing it yourself. If you're just starting out with little to no knowledge and you're coming from pencil and paper to a Wacom tablet using Photoshop or Procreate or any sort of digital art program of those sorts, this will be an easy technique that you can use as it has helped me bring this particular vision forward. So this project was brought to my attention by one of the hosts, Bobby, after I had posted another project on my personal Facebook page. As a college friend of mine, he reached out to me letting me know that he and his co-host Mike needed a cover profile for their podcast. And of course, I was happy to do it for them. This was definitely encouraging because, your friends and family are a great way to share your talents and network and increase commissions through referrals. So don't be afraid to share your chops, if you're trying to get more projects or at least offer your services and get more creative and get more challenges in. So typically what I like to do is identify what sort of expectations the client has because they may already have some sort of idea in mind and direction they want to go. Bobby and Mike made references to an anime called Steingate and also referred to the clothing style of Tokyo Revengers, if you're familiar with these anime. I also referred to their old cover for inspiration as well. So don't laugh, but these were literally my initial drafts to get myself in a frame of mind. It doesn't always start pretty, but it's better than a blank page for sure. After listening to a couple of their podcasts, I definitely wanted to incorporate the dragons, make it arcade gamey in a way, and also represent their relaxed yet intrigued demeanor when they're actually presenting the podcast. And just for reference, I am using my Cintiq Wacom tablet and pen, and the program I use to design is Adobe Photoshop 2021. Now, for the main attraction, getting started, I was going to start with paper until I realized that I need the alignment of each side to match perfectly so that, one, I don't waste time erasing and OCDing about my alignment, and two, save myself the frustration and get used to start my sketches on my tablet instead of paper. Now, here's the particular step-by-step instructions. First, what we're going to do is draw your image or design, whatever mark you want to make for this practice. Next, we're going to duplicate the layer that the image is on. You can type in Control-C, or you can right-click and select Duplicate Layer. So when I actually duplicate layers, it creates separate layers instead of copying the image or design on the same layer itself. So I feel this is beneficial, especially if you want to make particularly unique designs for one side over the other. But if you happen to want the same design on one layer, on the same layer, what you can do is select the image or just select that design. you're going to click the Move tool and press the Alt key and drag the selection in the desired placement, which will then be on the same layer as the selection. Now, I didn't use this method for this piece, but this is just so you know, because I was also very curious about this. But moving on to the method that I used. So we've duplicated the layer. Now on the duplicated layer, what we're going to do is hit Control T or right click and flip the image horizontally, vertically, whichever direction you want it flipped. You can move it anywhere you want. I'm using these selections just so I can make sure my alignment is where I want it to be. Also, if you have this set up in Photoshop, Photoshop is really good about having alignment guides that kind of help you arrange the orientation how you would like it to be. Now, we actually have two mirrored images, which is absolutely awesome. We did the first part. Now, if you want to change the color of one or the other of your mirrored image, what you can do is just add an adjustment layer. Now, if you just add an adjustment layer and try to change the colors, it's gonna actually change the color of the canvas. So in order to prevent that and make sure that we're only changing the color of the selected layer or group, we're going to right click the adjustment layer and create what's called a clipping mask to the duplicated layer so that we can alter its color scheme. Now, keep in mind, if you change these colors on that layer or on that group in the adjustment layer, it doesn't mean that you're actually painting with those new colors. So if you happen to see any blemish on the layer that's adjusted with your new preferred colors, you're actually going to be using the same colors as the original paint scheme that you used for the original mirrored image. So you may have blue as your original and you want to change your mirrored image to red using the adjustment layer. Now, you say, oh, like there's something that needs to be colored here on my mirrored image. You're still going to use blue. You're not going to use red anymore. You're not going to use red just because you changed it to red. You're still going to use blue because it's just the adjustment layer that's changing the perception of what you're seeing right now. So this is just something to keep in mind so you don't freak out, because I was like, why isn't the red changing to red? It's because the adjustment layer is communicating differently from what is actually being given. So this is just to keep in mind. And also it makes it easier for you so you don't have to like keep adding different color schemes as well. It just makes it so easier. You can use this method on a single layer, selected layers, or a group of layers. Whichever the case, I most likely used this particular method with groups of layers. Again, it saved me loads of time, and also it definitely was a relief to get the commission done, and also get my preferred colors that I wanted as well, and align everything to how I want it to be. And I hope this method can really help you too, especially when it comes to drawing eyes, hair, even if you're doing twin themed art pieces. It really comes together, and when you're using patterns as well. It's a handy technique to use. If you still can't seem to follow the video, I also will be posting this step-by-step guide on my blog that will be premiering on my website Wednesday tomorrow. And with that, I want to thank you so much for joining with me today. I hope you were able to find something valuable or just enjoy this journey with me. I would ask you to like, share, or subscribe to this channel, which would be very supportive, but that's only half the fun. Check out my website and subscribe to my mailing list. That way you won't miss the premiere of my blog that will take you through this step-by-step guide that was presented today, and for even more content and special rewards. The link is in the description below. Again, thank you so much for joining with me today, and activate that notification bell and stay tuned for the next episode. Cheers!